let's look at, so we looked at escaping the Americana from mount. Let's talk about side control this time. So, Glenn's in side control position. He's starting to lock on the Americana from side control. Notice the way his left elbow's right under my right elbow. Kind of to give me a little bit more time in this position, because now from here I'll take very little pressure. If Glenn starts to put it on from here, boom, that's a lot of pressure. My left hand is going to be wedging at his hip. Just gives me a little bit of control over his lower body. And now from here I'm going to make my right shoulder heavy by lifting my hips and kind of walking towards the arm that he's submitting. Notice the way now, it's hard to see it visually, but his left arm that was originally under my elbow is now under my tricep, and then I lift my butt and I kind of keep my right shoulder glued to the mat. This isn't going to stop him from putting on the Americana, but it's going to give me a little bit of time, and he has to go through a bigger movement to finish. So now when the moment's right, we can still rule of the Heisman. If I can see his armpit, I can Heisman. So I can just find this, keep my feet on the mat, and as I push him towards my right hip, I'm going to be pulling back my elbow. Okay, notice the way it lands based. Then I'll build the base to my elbow and I keep pushing him in that direction. Option one, from here I come up and I can physically put him over from here. Again, I don't expect to get this in anyone good, because he's going to widen his base to stay on top. So option two will be getting my guard back. Let's take a look at that. So we're here, preliminary defense. I lift my hips and I'll walk. Notice the way I kept my secondary hand at his hip. And I'll walk my shoulders towards the Americana. So now he's not as much under the elbow, which means he hasn't just the same leverage to finish. This just buys me time. And then I'll lift my butt and I'll try and glue my right shoulder to the mat. From here, if I can see his armpit, I can do a Heisman. So I'm just pushing as I withdraw my elbow. Now notice the way it lands based. I keep pushing, I build the base to my elbow. I'll push him so far and he extends his left hand towards the radiator. There's no way I'm going to take him over, but I can move my hip back and get my guard back. He'll turn to face me, I can start playing the game. Option two. Option three is from here, again I'll make that wedge, I'll lift my hip, I'll walk towards the arm that's getting attacked, lifting my butt, making sure my right shoulder's glued to the mat. And then when I see the armpit and I push back, sometimes from there against a bigger, stronger person, I get my elbow back, but Glenn's just adamant on staying on top. He'll be bringing his arm back around again and maybe putting on a cross face. I'll be tucking my elbow. I end up in side control bottom, but I haven't got Americana. So that's our three pathways. Let's talk about the leg movements. Just switch positions, bro. We'll turn this way. That Heisman can be hard to do. If you come around here. That Heisman can be hard to do on someone very big and strong. So let's add in another thing we can do with our lower body. So once I wedge at his hip and I walk towards the arm that's getting submitted and I glue my shoulder to the mat, if I feel he's a lot bigger and stronger than me, before I just start working the Heisman, I'm going to drop my butt to the mat and I'm going to start jackknifing my legs. So my knees will swim towards the arm that's getting submitted. Then I'll swing back, and as I swing them again back to the arm that's getting submitted, then I start working the Heisman. I build a base to my elbow. From there I'm moving my hips back. Glenn's going to try and turn to face me. And now we're into our position. Just one more time on that. So adding that pendulum of the knees can give me a little bit more leverage. So once we're here, wedge comes in at the hip, lift my hips, kind of walk towards, walking on my shoulders, to get his arm that's underneath my arm a little bit closer to my armpit. And then I'll make my shoulder heavy. This just buys me time. And if I feel he's a lot bigger and stronger than me, I'll put my butt back on the mat, I'll start pendulum my legs. The goal is, the minute I hit the Heisman, I'm withdrawing my right elbow under my body. Building a base, moving my hip back as he turns to face me. We're back into some kind of open guard control. So that is escaping the Americana from side control.